everyone, and welcome to the Emmy Award-winning Caribbean Cookout Show. As part of Season 4, we are so excited to do things a little differently. We're bringing you a special conversation exploring the people, traditions, and stories that help shape Caribbean culture through food, farming, and community.
If you put a plate of food in front of each one of us, our favorite food, it's going to identify who we are immediately.
And today, we're bringing together two people passionate about Caribbean culture. Joining me today is Chef Simeon Hall Jr.
It is, for me, a travesty to see the selling and the consumption of pre-made, bottled, and canned coconut water in the Caribbean.
An Emmy Award-winning chef, culinary storyteller, and author, restaurateur, and one of the most celebrated food ambassadors in the Bahamas.
The older farmers are retiring, they're leaving, they're passing on, and we don't have anybody to fill that gap.
We are joined by another guest, Dr. Suzie Richardson Armas, a Haitian-born physician, farmer, and community leader.
There's no culture without food. There's no food without culture.
His work focuses on health, education, and preserving Caribbean culture through food and agriculture.
I value my mangoes. I value my coconuts. I value the oranges. I value the plantain. I value the bananas. I value the corns. I love corns. I eat it every type of form.
Excited to have two people who wear many hats. And just diving right in, I want to start with you, Dr. Armas. You were born in Haiti. Tell me about your upbringing and where exactly you were born and how that really shaped where you are in your life.
Not only that I was born in Haiti, but I was born in a town named Jean Rabel. And that is located exactly in the northwestern part of Haiti, very close to Mont Saint-Nicolas, where they arrived at the first time to put a step in the land that we call today Haiti. And in my hometown, what is the most important is that neighbors are family. And this is what today do everything that I am today. Like neighbors are family, and we consider each other the same. You do not have to go and eat at my house or to eat at the neighbor's house. All the houses belong to everybody. That's what today, food is such an important thing for me.
So you mentioned eating at neighbors' houses. It seems like that's the first core memory that you're talking about.
That's the first memory, because food, you know, as a child, you remember food. And let me tell you, when you eat, that's what makes you the person you are.
Yeah.
And that keeps my mind, because even though today I'm the physician, and I always make sure that we eat properly to keep the weight and to keep healthy.
So is there any special meals that you just remember that you always want to, maybe if you're meeting someone new or you want to break bread with them, is there a special meal that's close to you?
Always banana, because in my hometown, the bananas are big, and we call them even outside of the plate, because they are so big they reach outside of the plate. And we share that with people. We made it so many different ways. And this is the first thing that I share with people. Of course, accompanied with a meal with meat or with fish, because I am from the sea is right across the street, and we eat fresh seafood. So this is what I usually share with people when I meet them the first time.
And Chef Simeon, obviously banana, plantain, that's something that unites all of us, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in many backyards throughout the Caribbean, in the Bahamas, you know, you either have a banana tree or you have a plantain tree. And that is a part of, you know, putting the side, or as we call it in the Bahamas, the relish, which is your side dish on your plate, just to show that extra bit of love and care for somebody, especially if you're meeting them for the first time.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And just talking about the food, I know you are also a farmer. Do you see that as a vital importance, farming, agriculture in the Caribbean?
Yes, because in the houses, it was like a farm. Every house was a farm when I was growing up, because you did not need to go get the oranges somewhere else. You had the oranges right there. And I remember when it was the season, you had all the plantains hanging on the ceiling, and you had so many beans, the red, the black, and the white, and you were like excited about how come they have so many food, so many things, and bring joy to every child.
And that's just how the houses were, like next door, everybody's house was like that?
Everybody.
Wow.
I remember in my mom's house, the grapes were falling from the ceiling because everybody had everything. And it was organic, and it was so tasty. And that's what brings the people that I am today, the person that I am today. And this is why I'm still connected with farming. And it was not planned for me to live in a farm, and it just happened that the farm called me. And I am living in a farm with 150 avocado trees. So you can imagine, I have all type of avocados, big, small, and tasty. So you are all invited.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of a situation. So we were just in Puerto Rico, my dad and I remember we were walking by just someone's house, and they had nopales, they had cactus growing, and he was telling me as a kid, you could just cut it from like a neighbor, and it's fine. It's like everybody's sharing, everybody's eating. So I think that's really cool, just preserving that.
It is. I remember in 2004, we had a program when we went to Haiti, because I took my children to Haiti so they can know where I came from. Because the house where I was born in sank all the way, so you could step from the road to the top of the house. And I told them, this is where I came from. When she came back, my oldest one, and the father asked her, what was your experience to Haiti? What can you tell me about Haiti? And she said, you know, this is the first time I felt that I was free, because I could go from one house to another, and all the doors were open, and I was welcome. This is the sense of Haiti. Even in 2004, we could still feel that.
And how do you preserve that? I mean, how are you able to, I just think about, obviously, the Caribbean. We have hurricanes. I actually was in Jamaica right after the hurricane, and it really destroyed the agricultural area. How do we preserve that for the future, make it sustainable, and make sure that even as you leave, you know, the islands, we're still preserving that culture, the food, those traditions? How do we do that?
The one thing is that to never leave your hometown. Even though I left when I was 4 years old from Jean-Abel, and I went to Port-au-Prince, the capital, but every vacation, every holidays, we had to spend it at home. So you always keep the connection with the culture, with the people. And so it was never, you were never a stranger. And the way to keep that is that you go to your parents, to the farm, and you let the people that are working there, I'm still here. And you keep that going. So every time we go to the farm, we go and eat the mangoes with the locals, and you should see us. I remember that same time when we went to Haiti, my daughter saw a cochino, like, and that had 4 or 6 children. She was about to go grab one, and you know the mother is a mother, and she was the mother was about to get her, and we had to. This is what you need to do, not to leave your country, not to leave your hometown, to keep the connection, so you can always keep going and let the people know that I know and I value those things. I value my mangoes. I value my coconuts. I value the oranges. I value the plantain. I value the bananas. I value the corns. I love corns. I eat it every type of form. So to let them know that, hey, there are still people that cares.
And Chef Simeon, as a cultural food ambassador, how does that play out in your world? How are you able to just spread that and, you know, help preserve the culture?
Well, I think in past times, we had depended so much on oral traditions. But in today's world of technology and all the advancements, I think it's now time for us to capture the imagination and the attention of the younger people. And the best way to do that is to meet them where they are, to make sure that they are recording these things, that we modernize where we can, that we can make sure that we are actually putting things down on paper and not just leaving it in our minds, so that they can have an opportunity to build on it. You know, kids getting into content creating and making sure that, you know, instead of just grandma in the kitchen, now when you go in the kitchen, my nephew wants to come in and he wants to record it. You know what I mean? So now that gives them an opportunity for it to continue to go. And that is the way that we're going to make sure that once we get old and we stop doing it, the next generation that is following us is still making sure that it continues. Because, you know, we don't want it to die off when we die. That's one of the issues I think we have in Caribbean agriculture, where the older farmers are retiring, they're leaving, they're passing on, and we don't have anybody to fill that gap. And so I believe the best way to do that is to engage the younger people, for them to see and understand and have that connection to the culture that we found it in a different way, but we still found it.
Yeah.
Somebody shared it with us. And so we are responsible now as the elders. I know a lot of us don't want to call ourselves the elders, but we are the elders. And we will be the ancestors that they talk about 50, 70 years from now. And so we have that responsibility.
Yeah, because there's so many people who consume our culture, and sometimes I find like people on the island, sometimes we take it for granted sometimes. We don't consume our own culture.
Oh, for sure. It's like, you know, I say it all the time. In the Bahamas, I live next to the beach. She was just talking about the ocean. But, you know, there could be years where I haven't gone to the beach.
Years?
Years, of course, because it's there. And so you just, you know, it's like breathing air. You don't really think about it. But then you have people that come from all over the world just to go to our beaches. So we have to also be the ones that are consuming our product, so that it is by extension an invitation to the visitor, not that we have to, you know, manufacture an experience for them. People ask me all the time, where do you go to eat? What are your favorites? What are your things you love to do? And the modern day traveler doesn't want to go to all the tourist traps. They want to go to the places that represent the locals. And so we have to make sure that we are the locals. We are still consuming what is ours. We are still making sure that we have the backyard farms and making sure we're still, even if we've developed Grammy's recipe, we also know that there's an underlying identification to what she was doing, because she developed her grandmother's recipe. It wasn't quite the same when she did it, but now, you know, it still had the fundamentals. And I think that's what we need to do.
And I like what you said about social media too, because I think about like the tourists and travelers who post on like TikTok and they want to go to KFC in the islands. They're like, oh, it's so cool. I'm like, that's cool, but you need to try this also. Like, try Blue Mountain coffee, try something else. Even myself, I didn't even have, I don't want to say it wrong, dirigeon rice?
Dirigeon.
Until I came here and I said, oh my God, everyone needs to have this. Like, this is amazing. So that's definitely important for sure. So another thing I wanted to talk about also is, you know, our ancestors, they viewed food not just as nourishment, but also as medicine. So what are your thoughts about that, and how do we continue to go back to those really, those ingredients that are just important, those teas, those whatever else, those herbs?
It is, I have given several thoughts about that, but as a physician, I should not tell people to drink tea. But when the door is closed, I tell them, you know, drink all the teas that you want.
Okay.
Because the teas are very important. But I just told them, do not stop taking your medication.
Yeah.
Because there are some teas that are very good for your liver, some teas that are very good for the prostate, some teas that are aphrodisiac. And I love teaching about keeping the relationship together.
Okay.
And to keep a relationship together, we need to eat foods that are aphrodisiac. And but in closed door, I do not open the door to tell them, hey, because I don't want any companies to come here and say, you're doing wrong, okay? Yeah. But there are so many teas that are very good for our health, that are very good to keep our skin beautiful. I always ask people, touch my skin. Like I will not give that skin for no other skin because it's so soft. I don't need to put lotion because my skin is very soft. I keep it soft because I'm drinking my teas that were taught to me from my grandmother, to my mother, and to myself. Now, I tell people, but unfortunately, I cannot say that over here, and it's very important to keep eating some fruits and teas, and I encourage that.
So what are some of the foods or teas that are commonly used for wellness?
Okay. now we're going to a different level. You're telling me that there is every food that is acidic are very good to boost your immune system. Just like the oranges and the lemon, and they tell you, okay, if you take that, your vitamin C will go up. The beets are so important for our life. And many people are asking you, what should I do? I said, I'm telling you that you can do this, you can do that, but do not stop taking your medication. And for example, the fruits, we said pineapple. Pineapple is very good. I'm not going to tell you why, but if you want, you can consult me at the office for that. So there are many foods that we have at the tip of our fingers that are very good for our life and to keep our health in good condition.
And what about you?
I'll say what she can't say.
Okay.
I mean, I believe that there are a connection. But the thing about it, like she says, one of the things that we do have to be careful of is to make sure that we regulate our home remedies. Okay. I think that's one of the things that we do have to be careful of, because they can become very potent. And so you have to be very careful of that.
What do you mean?
You can have too much.
Okay.
Everything has to have balance. I once had a family member that had so much carrot, his skin turned
yellow,
orange.
Really?
Orange.
Yes,
Yeah, for sure. And so in the Caribbean, when we go in on things, we go in. Yeah. And so we have to just be careful. And like she's saying, there is some limitations about speaking about that. But in Caribbean culture, we've long since known and participated in the fact that food is nutrition, and that is how you can regulate a lot of stuff. And when you think about it, and you think about probably in years gone past, grandparents, great-grandparents that had less ailments, they lived longer, they were more physical than we are, and so that is a part of understanding what that food meant. And so we have to be, right now we live in an age of immediate. We live in an age of convenience. Everybody wants to shortcut it. There's no more slow cooking. There's no more preparation of food from in the morning to eat at night, because everybody working. And especially when you work in areas across the Caribbean that are hospitality driven, they are shifts. And so you may go to work at 8 in the morning, you pick up an extra overtime shift. So that means you're going to work all day. Yeah. So instead of preparing a proper meal, you call home and tell your kids, order KFC or pizza or something that's convenient. And so it all has so many factors why we consume the way that we consume. And also too, our food was also based on high energy programs where our ancestors were working very hard in the sun, very laborious, and so that was a different energy that they needed to burn off that is different from if you're just sitting in front of the computer. So all of that is knowledge of what food does, and so that's the difference between agriculture these days.
To piggyback on what Chef just said, my dad just had his 100th birthday.
Congrats.
And he spent 2 hours dancing with all the ladies in the room. And he's now in my hometown. And I saw a picture yesterday of him jumping on a motorcycle.
Oh, wow.
Just to show you that the foods that we used to eat were organic. They were real. They were not quick,
of pesticides,
as Chef said. And this is the reason why, like today, my avocados are organic. I do not use any pesticides. I do my own farming. I do not let people come and tell me what to do with them, because this is what I use for my own self, and I use for the people that I love, the people that I share with. Because avocado, you can go to the bathroom, come to Susie's farm, and I'll get you some avocados, and you will thank me later. And all that, everything was organic. I remember we had the chickens running around. So the eggs, we just go and pick them up. And let me tell you, they were real yellow. And so this is what make us what we are today. I'm telling you, my dad has so much energy at 100 years that my husband said, you need to give me some of that.
I love that. I want to stay on wellness for a second, and I'm going to share two things. So my family is Jamaican and Dominican. So every time I get sick, I will have té de cebolla, which is, the onion tea, have some like the fruit cut up in there, some usually some apples cut up in there, and that's something I swear it works. It's like, I don't know, it works so well. And then my dad, anytime I have like a back problem or something like that, he says, go get nopales or the cactus, cut it up, put it with coconut water, let it sit overnight and drink that, and it'll help you. So are there things that you feel like, okay, this is a very common Haitian wellness treatment that you always use, or something from the Bahamas as well?
Let me tell you, there is l'huile mascriti. Everybody need to write that down. L'huile mascriti.
Okay.
How do you say that in Creole? That heal 101 diseases.
Okay.
You have it, you use the l'huile mascriti, you will get well. I should not say that as a physician, but this is part of our culture. Okay. This is what every Haitian household has. And let me tell you, you will never make a mistake by using the l'huile mascriti. It can be because you have a fever, you put it all over. It can be because you have pain, you put it in your back. It can be because you cannot go to the bathroom, you use a spoon. It can be because you had an accident and the entire body is all over. Let me tell you, l'huile mascriti help and heals 101 diseases.
So what is it exactly? Is it?
It's an oil that is...
oil, okay.
It's an oil. And we have it over the counter here, but it's not the same.
Okay.
Because the one made in Haiti has the smell. Let me tell you, and they prepare that for us when we used to go to come from the Port-au-Prince, like from the capital. You have to cut and clean your body and clean the inside, because we didn't have doctors back then. Where they are going to take the children to the doctor? So this was the medicine. So when you come home, they give you a tea with some l'huile mascriti, or the coffee with some l'huile mascriti.
Wow.
And let me tell you, clean you up. And after that, you get a big bowl of bouillon.
Well, I believe that, first of all, when you research medicine, where did medicine come from? These were from these traditions, from nature, from what was absolutely easily found. And I think what has happened now is the industry has just probably encapsulated that. But I mean, when you want to talk about medicine, food as medicine, go back to those old oral traditions. And again, even though they weren't educated in the word or what it means or what it's used as now, they were doing those remedies. Those home remedies work. Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of drug companies, etc., have explored those and why they work, and there's probably some connection to it. So I believe in balance, and that balance is, look at what grandmother did. Look at what the people who survived all this time did, and let's go back to some of those traditions.
And you mentioned the oral history, sharing that. What role or how important is storytelling when it comes to our cultural preservation and just sharing the food?
Well, the best answer I have for that is, over the last 6 months, I've been talking to my aunt and my dad. And I've gotten so much knowledge from that. It was enough for me to dive deeper in checking out some historical facts. And they have so much memories and knowledge and all of their experiences that helps to guide those processes. And I think without that, we will not have the fundamentals that we have today.
So for both of you, how would you say that food and culture work together?
It's part of each other. There's no culture without food. There's no food without culture. Because what makes the food, it's everything that we have around us, everything that form our culture. And this is why when a patient comes to me, I tell you, you're going to have a big belly, you're going to have a big butt, because this is the food that we eat. And what we need to do is to eat less and make sure that you watch what you eat. Do not add too much salt, do not add too much oil, so you can have a portion, smaller portion, so we can continue to be healthy. But there's no way you can separate yourself from your culture. There is a special food made in my hometown, and it was made by all the farmers when they used to go out to their farm, and after a big day or a long day, they were used to all get together and get the food and cook themselves. And the ladies used to go and get the fish, bring it, and put in the coconut oil. And let me tell you, that's very tasty.
Yeah.
And when I go to Haiti, I said to Jean Rabel, I always ask to eat that food, because this is not something that you get every day.
Right.
Not to talk about the subjour, but there are certain things. You are the culture, the food, and you are interconnected. You cannot separate the two.
For me, I guess for the last 15 years, I've been really talking about food culture, because culture is what we use, or the phrase that we use to identify people around the world. And for me, it's broken down into 3 parts. Those 3 parts are food, music, and the arts. If you look at it, that is what distinguishes everybody. However, food is the biggest component, because it is the most life-changing part, because you are what you eat. And then 2, it is the most consumed part. You could be in the Bahamas, for example, you have to eat to survive, so you're going to be impacted by the food. However, you may never see Bahamian art, or you may never hear Bahamian music, even though that is what is used to identify us. So food is the most important and the most consumed part of culture. And that's why I also say, your plate is your flag.
I love that.
Your plate is your flag.
Yeah.
If you put a plate of food in front of each one of us, our favorite food, it's going to identify who we are immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. So it says,
I love
here's
that.
a Haitian plate, here's a Bahamian plate, and that's how we identify. That's how we talk to one another. That's how we create fellowship, is through our food. And so that part of our culture is the part that we talk about, and I believe it's the part that we miss the most. Every time you go back home, what's the first thing that you want?
The food, yes.
Food, 100%. That's the first thing you want as soon as the plane land. You're trying to figure out where we can eat, or what Mama has cooked, or what's at the house. Anybody
so
cook at the
true.
house?
Yeah.
That's a part of who we are.
Yeah.
And that's for everybody across the planet. It just so happens, I believe Caribbean food is the most delicious.
Amen.
Absolutely. And I would like to just point out that in Dominican Republic, the national dish is called la bandera, the flag. So I love that.
Yes.
Absolutely. So I want to ask you both also, you know, when you think about your contributions, everything that you've done so far, when you look back, what legacy do you hope to leave behind, and what do you want people to remember the most when it comes to food and culture?
To value people. I really think that people is important. Sense the people, the person next to you. Feel the person next to you. Because that person has a heart. Do not see the person as a monetary value, but as the person that he is or she is. And this is one thing that I really would like my children or the generation to come with, that AI coming. I always said, the day that AI will be able to put a stethoscope and feel your heart, I will start panicking. But if that does not happen, there's no panic for me. Because I like to make a difference in every person that I touch. Because that's part of my legacy. Make a difference in somebody else's life every single day.
I love that.
Awesome. For me, it's continuity. and to get people to understand that we are or have to continue what our forefathers started, to make sure that I pave the way for the next generation. To win an Emmy means that you could win an Emmy, means that your kids can win an Emmy, and so on. So I believe it's about continuing the story that our forefathers started, to know and understand that the Caribbean and the Bahamas is a part of the overall Black experience.
Yes.
And we cannot isolate that. We cannot disconnect that. So to have somebody just continue what I've started is the way that I want to be remembered. Somebody who did something and it's hard to go away. There's a saying that says, when a griot dies, it's like a library closes. Well, I don't want my library to close. Yeah. I want it to remain open enough so that the next generation of chefs, entrepreneurs, foodies, whatever it is, can continue so that they don't have to dig as deep as I had to dig. You know what I mean? To find these stories. I want it to be accessible, and I want it to be something that they're interested in making sure continues. So that Caribbean Cookout isn't the only Caribbean storytelling series like this.
Yeah.
We need more.
Absolutely.
Because we want the world to know how impactful the Caribbean is.
Absolutely. So it's definitely been a great conversation. I do want to have a little fun before we go. So I want to ask you, what is your favorite Haitian dish?
I have many favorites, and it depends on the way I feel. And if my husband is at home, you're definitely going to know that I'm going to ask for some conchs.
Yeah.
I am going to get some conchs. I am going with the pickles, with let me tell you. So it depends on the way that I feel. And I think feelings is important. And food is connected to that. And the diou jonjon, the banane pesée. Yes. If I am sick and I don't eat a banane pesée with cabrit, I am about to die. So a banane pesée and cabrit, it is my favorite. And I have many favorites. And what Haitian food is not good?
Yeah.
You name it and it's good. Yes or no?
Haiti does have the best rice in the region. I actually think that.
You have not seen the bouillon, which is the stew, the how do you call that? The broth that we make with all the inside of the cabrit. Let me tell you, you have not tasted that. All Haitian food is excellent, amazing. I love them all, but I cannot eat them all.
Okay.
And this is what I would like to teach everybody, how to make it better. Not to to use that much oil and certain type of meat, so we can get better juice of every meal that we prep. And let me tell you, as Chef said, I keep that in the family. I cook with my children. I want them to be next to me. I want them to know how to cook the good rice, because I want them to be able to keep going, because my house is a welcoming place, and we all gather around the table. We cook together, we eat together, we laugh together, we dance together, and we drink together.
Absolutely. And Chef Simeon, so obviously as a chef, you can make the best of the best foods, but what is your go-to dish, your comfort meal at home?
Well, again, like Doc said, it all depends on the mood, I think. I have, again, a repertoire of good dishes. I like to bake bread when I want to slow down and I've had a busy week, because bread causes you to wait. And sometimes as a chef, I don't like waiting.
Okay.
So when I need to slow down, I love to bake bread. I also, again, being in Nassau, we're connected so much to the ocean. So I love seafood, I love fish. Yeah. And so cooking that all the time is something that you'll find at my house. And so anything that is intentional for me to slow down and actually break away from the hectic life that I often have, I think that's it. And so I don't always want to just do a quick meal. I want to do something that it'll cost me to wait. And so I did a Bahamian style stew fish the other day with Johnny cake and everything else. So that was, again, my favorite is it changes every day, I guess.
Yeah.
It all depends, yeah.
What about you? What is maybe your favorite down home? Like this reminds me of home at first bite. If I'm missing home, I need to have this.
I remember my daughter was in college and she called me to say, I just took the plane. I'm coming home. And please, I need you to make that Zuri Jonjon.
Yes.
And I jump on the kitchen, cook the Zuri, and take it to the airport when I picked her up. And you should see her face when I opened the Zuri Jonjon, the smell. Oh, I want some Zuri Jonjon now. So the Zuri Jonjon.
Yeah.
And if you put some coconut, real coconut, not coconut on it.
Wow.
And if you add
like
some
coconut
shrimp,
bits?
the coconut, the coconut, you grate the coconut and the coconut water or the coconut oil, you put mix to it.
Yeah.
And if you want it to be juicier, you add some shrimp to it.
She tasting her food right now. I love it.
Yes.
So, okay, when it comes to Bahamian food, if someone is new to it and you want to knock them off their socks, what do you make?
Oh man, definitely some sort of fish, some sort of seafood. I make real peas and rice. I know in the Caribbean especially, there's a war of rice. But again, because it all depends, we've had all of these cultural shifts that have taken us away from those authentic recipes. And so whenever I engage people with food, I try to be as authentic as possible. And so real peas and rice is a pilau. A pilau is a cook-up.
Okay.
A cook-up means there's a lot of different stuff inside of it. And that is the way that it was authentically done. Okay. It's morphed into different things now. So I don't do any of the morphed dishes for my friends. So don't ask me to make vegan Bahamian food.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Okay,
I'm not making
okay.
it. If you want to have the real deal, it can be vegan. You know what I mean? And like she's saying, we're making our own coconut milk from scratch. We're buying local coconut oils and different stuff that we cook with. And making sure we have fresh fish is a must. Conch or lambi in Creole is a big part of the Bahamian diet. So it's just making sure there are authentic recipes on the table, not the modifications, you know what I mean? Yeah. With people now talking about gluten-free and vegan and they can't have this and they can't have that. Maybe you don't want to show up to my house on
Really?
On Bahamian night.
Okay. What is your favorite fish before we go?
My favorite fish is probably some type of grouper, not Nassau grouper.
Yes.
And snappers.
Yeah.
I love snappers.
Snapper.
Deep water snappers.
Snapper reminds me of the Caribbean. It just reminds me of
deep
home.
water snappers, for sure. Yeah.
So what is one Caribbean tradition you think everybody needs to enjoy, explore, experience?
As a physician, there are certain things that our ancestors used to use, and I would like the community to continue to do so because they are very healthy. For example, when a woman gives birth in Haiti, they used to do a big part of all the leaves and have that woman sit on it to have a sit bath so you can close up again. That is fantastic. And certain leaves, I do not know all of them because I was not part of all that. But with time, I realized how important that is. And I would like every woman to continue to do that. It's not only after giving birth, but if you are married and you have relationship and you always want to remain mademoiselle, señorita, a young woman, the sitz bath is key. I really would like to emphasize that.
Wait, so how does that work?
How's that work? It's like a sitz bath. It's like you go to the doctor and they tell you need a sitz bath. So in a bucket, they make that big pot of tea and they put all the leaves inside of the bucket. You just have to sit on it. And the heat.
So interesting.
And let me tell you, key.
Okay.
Key. You do that, your husband will be very happy. And this is something that I would like to remain because the leaves have potency, like he said at the beginning, and can close you up very tight.
Wow.
And I think it's a tradition that people should continue.
Okay, and what about you? Well, I don't know how you follow that, but go ahead.
Well, the two things for me are, I think something to what we both alluded to earlier was the use of our ingredients that we used to have. For example, nobody used to buy coconut milk out of the store. Mm-hmm. They made their own coconut milk. It is, for me, a travesty to see the selling and the consumption of pre-made, bottled, and canned coconut water in the Caribbean. I don't even think that should be allowed.
Really?
But we have it.
Yeah.
We have it all throughout all the Caribbean. You can go now and you can buy canned coconut water, etc., when there's coconut trees
everywhere.
Yes,
everywhere.
Yeah.
And so we've gone away from that for convenience, but I don't think we need to be that convenient. And then also to, I think globally, we need to all get back to sitting at the table,
Yes.
disconnect from the cell phones, have a time to talk, fellowship, and eat our food. Because I tell people all the time, if you could eat and you're mad, you need to go and see somebody. You need special help to make sure that, because nobody eats upset.
Yeah.
You can't eat when you're angry. Food immediately helps to curb that. And imagine if more families ate together.
Yeah.
Families would be stronger. It would be like how we used to be back in the day, where there were no cell phones, so you couldn't be on your cell phone. But right now, we take up a plate of food and we all go to our separate rooms, and we don't see one another probably until the next day.
Yeah.
That is not a tradition that we should hold on to.
Absolutely.
Not permitted in my house. Now that you talk about the coconut water, wow, if you are in dialysis and if you have kidney issues, real coconut water full of minerals, this is what you need to drink. And that will keep you healthier. And that can even remove you from dialysis because this water is full of real minerals. I agree with Chef we should stop that from our food stores. And not only that, you will be surprised. The locals would rather go get a bottle of coconut water instead of drinking their coconut from the tree because they want to be cool.
Yeah.
This is that coolness that we need to remove from their mind because that's not cool at all.
Yeah, because as soon as you process it, all of the natural minerals and the benefits, you kill. Yeah. So definitely, those are the kind of things. And mangoes, for example, it is the height of mango season throughout the Caribbean.
Yes.
Why are we still going to the food store to buy, imported mangoes? I don't get it.
It's funny, you mentioned coconut water. There's a saying in Jamaica, coconut water good for your data. So I always think about that. I do try to drink coconut water, but I do buy the bottled water.
Yeah.
So yes, I need to shift my mind and try to find some coconuts on the tree. Yeah.
Many people come and want to go and have surgery to remove part of their body to get sexier. The only thing you have to do is to eat healthier.
That's true.
Get the organic food. I'm not telling you to go to the stores where they are very expensive. Nowadays, with the type of life that we're living, we can grow our own fruits and vegetables and get our own chicken and to get our real eggs.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of accomplishment too when you're growing your own food. Even if it's like a little garden outside and you're picking it and you're cooking it, it just feels better. There's just something about it.
And the smell of the real food. I'm telling you, you go to Haiti, you don't need to enter the person's house to know what food they are cooking. Just by passing in front of the house, you will definitely know what is on that pot. Because I have sense for food. I love food.
Yeah.
You can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. What a wonderful conversation for both of you. Dr. Suze, thank you so much for being here, sharing your background, your history, and your story, your passion for agriculture, and your hopes really for the future of agriculture in the Caribbean for future generations. And Chef Simeon, as always, it is a pleasure to see you and hear your insight and just learn so much more from you as well. And all of you out there, thank you so much for watching and listening as we kick off season 4 of Caribbean Cookout. Until next time, I'm Cher Amhara. Thanks for joining me.